Hi everyone, it's Justina here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm back with my what will be a Tim Holtz altered file folder in a botanical theme. I did put up part 1 last week. So you'll notice I've not matted anything. I did say at the end of last video that I would get the papers matted, and then I realised that well, there was a couple of things I wanted to do before I did that, and also I thought it might actually be clearer in a craft along style for you to actually see me do almost everything to a certain extent. So that's why I've not matted anything. But anyway, today we're going to get everything sorted and get the ephemera in. We should be able to get that done in one video because it won't take very long. What I wanted to say was I've actually put some of the framer's tape down the middle here, inside the folio. If you remember, we put it on the outside here. I thought I would also put it here just to add even more strength and sturdiness to the spine. So I've done that. And we're going to start with this section. So if you remember from when we did part 1, I said that this was going to be where a notebook would slip in and out. So we're going to get this part done today. For those of you who missed part 1, I am kind of following a tutorial from Tania from Tatty Treasure. I have changed it up a little bit from what she showed, but yeah, I'm just filming the process. I've not made one in this style, so I'm just showing it for anyone who wants to watch. Just in case this is the first video you're watching, I want to make sure you know you know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I'm going to start by laying some papers, I want to go this way, inside here. Now you might notice I've not cut them the exact height of the folder, and the reason for that is we're going to, my paper wasn't big enough for a start, but also we're going to have gussets in here to make the pouch part. The only reason I'm doing this, you're not really going to see it. The reason I'm doing it is because, if you remember from part 1, I mentioned where file folders are not exactly straight, you get essentially like these extra like lips and stuff peeking out, and I thought it would be a lot neater if what you saw was nice paper rather than inside the folio it's kind of like this buff. It's not as nice as the outside, so that's why I'm doing it. So I'm just using the Kalau, and as you notice I'm not going right to the edge because I don't want it to gloop out everywhere, but I will need to go in and just make sure everything's glued properly with the art glitter glue. You might also notice these papers do not match and that wasn't intentional or anything, it was just I didn't have enough of the papers because for this project I'm actually using a lot of what I've got in my stash. And these are not Tim Holtz, they're not cardstock, they are thick presentation paper. They actually are the type of paper that you would use for posh card inserts if you were making greeting cards. So it's stronger than copy paper, just to give a bit of sturdiness without adding masses of heaviness or bulk. Okay, so that's what we've got. I just went round the edges with my art glitter glue so that those papers are nicely stuck down well. And then I also noticed, because my file folder really wasn't at all straight, I noticed that I had a little bit, I think the inside was taller than the outside, so it was creating like a little lip. So I've just cut with a pair of scissors, very carefully, I've just cut along here so that all of it's much neater now. So I just thought I would highlight that in case you've got the same thing with your file folder. I don't normally have that be an issue, but this time it was. So we're going to do the gusset now. So I've just got 2 1-inch strips here that I'm going to use. And we don't want to put too much bulk in the middle here. So we don't want to go over the spine, of course, but we also want to leave a bit of a gap from where our spine is to where our gussets start. So I actually used my paper as a guide. So I've come in about 1/4 of an inch to give me a strip that is 6 1/4 inches wide by about 1 inch. And we are going to fold it in half. So I'm just going to score at 1/2 inch on both of these. And this will make a nice little, well, I say little, it will make a decent sized gusset. Okay, and I think I want to go this way. I think I would rather that you see the green rather than the other colour. So I want to go this way. So I'm going to fold those. I'm just going to give them a little bit of an ink just on the edges. And that's really just because you might end up seeing it. Right, sorry, I really need to change my dauber. I'm getting all like little bits of fluff all over my desk. Okay, so we're going to take the top one, and we just want to run some glue along one of these edges here. And you want to glue it, whoops. You want to glue it so that this part is facing inwards. So basically you're doing the flat edge to the flat edge. That's not making any sense at all. Let me try that again. Let me glue this one down before the glue dries, and then I'll explain it better. I can explain it better than that. So I'm just checking to make sure we're straight. So basically you want the folded edge to be straight in line with the top of the piece, so that when the bit that opens is facing inwards, facing into the pocket. I hope that is a better way to explain it. Okay, and then we're going to do the same here. So again, I'm gluing it so that the open edge, the open side, is facing inwards. So they're facing each other, and the closed side, the folded side of the gusset, is on the outside at the bottom here. And I'm just making sure that you can't see the gusset past this part, because I don't want you to be able to see that, you know, when we come to do it. Decorate the outside. Oh goodness, I need to learn words this morning. So basically what we're going to do now is, when we close this up, hoping you'll be able to see better, we're going to get a pouch like this. Okay, wonderful. I really hope that makes sense. So we're going to run some glue on this top edge now, and I'm just going to concentrate on doing this because I don't want the glue to dry first. I'm using art glitter glue because it's strong, I trust it. So then we're just going to close that up, and again I'm just making sure that everything is as straight as I can get it and stuck down well. For those little strips I just used my offcuts, my scraps. I'm sure we've got plenty of those for making Tim Holtz ephemera if you are following along. So now when that's closed, as you can see, we get this nice gusseted pocket, which is just perfect for our notebook to slide in and out of. As I say, I didn't come up with this concept of doing it this way. I've seen it from Tania from Tatty Treasure. As per part 1, I have put her link to her videos in the description box. Alright, so we've got that pouch in. Now, as I mentioned, we've got this little lip. Mine actually, there's no lip at the bottom here, but there's a lip at the top, so I might actually just cut that off. I don't know if you can see, I've got this little overlapped bit. I'll just probably cut that off, and then it's out of my hair, out of my mind. Done. Okay, so now I'm at a stage where I want to get the papers matted. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, but I will do it off screen because all it's a case of me doing is just gluing these papers down. I will do the back of the envelope with you in a moment. But for now, yeah, I think I just want to get these. Now what I have done is I've got separate panels and I have sewn around them just in a cream thread, just a zigzag. Probably can't even see it, but it just gives it a nice interesting look rather than just gluing the papers down. But you don't have to do that part. Okay, so I'm going to get those in the back there. As I say, we'll do the back of the envelope together because I want to keep that as a pocket. And then I'm going to glue this one to the front. And gluing it onto the front of the envelope, I don't need to worry about anything, I just need to glue it down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will pause just so that we've got time for everything and I'll come back to you. So this is what I've got. I do need to go around the edges a bit more with the art glitter glue because where I've got the stitching, some of it wants to pop up a little bit. So I do need to spend some more time gluing, but that's fine. I'm not going to do the back of the envelope just yet. The reason is because I actually don't know, I'm torn between two pieces of ephemera to go on there. So I want to start building it up, see how it all looks before I decide on the paper. The rest of it I'm pretty sure what I want. I've just popped this little paper clip in that I made just from some scraps and Tim Holtz ephemera. That is just inside the envelope, and that was something Tania did and I thought it looked quite cool, so I thought I would do the same. So yeah, some of it will be overlap, but some of it is just what I fancy making. Okay, so check in, you can see most of it. So I want to have a gusseted pocket in the back, just here, so that I can fit a notebook. But I am going to bring this in just a tad. This was me just folding it to decide what I want. So I'm just going to get some gussets in the side of it. And I also want to put a gusset along the bottom because I want to fit a notebook in here that I've made, as well as, you know, a couple of other bits. So I think actually I might sit this inside my stitching because I would quite like to see the stitching actually. So I'm just going to make a mark. I don't have a pencil on me, so make a mark there. Yeah, I would actually prefer to see my stitching, so I'm just going to score it where that mark is. And I'm trying very hard to use as many of my scraps in this project as I can. I think that will help me a lot as well. That's it, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off the excess here because I don't need that much. And then I want to put a gusset in the bottom. I do have videos on making gusseted pockets and that, because I appreciate, for those of you that are new, this isn't a very good tutorial. It's very much a craft with me, and so I do have actual videos on making gusseted pockets. Okay, so let's just pop that out of the way. So when you're making a gusseted pocket, so you've got your folds in the left and the right and the bottom, you'll get little boxes in the bottom corner. That's what we want to snip off. It just helps the pocket lay neater. I'm sure lots of you have made gusseted pockets by now. If not, then there are lots of great videos out there. And I'm also just going to snip the top corners like this, just to make sure that you can't see anything once the pocket is in. and that just allows us then to fit a lot more in the pocket than we would normally be able to. I'm just going to give it an ink, and then I will need to bone folder the whole thing down. Yeah, I'm excited to be actually doing this project. As mentioned in the first video, it's been on my to-do list for a long time. I think when I very first saw Tania's videos, I went out and bought the paper pad straight away, and then I sat on it for a long time because I didn't want to waste it or get it wrong or anything. You know, these things cost money, so I sort of didn't want to. Yeah, I wanted to be careful about it, but I feel ready now, so that's that. So I'm just going to run some glue onto the gussets part. So yeah, we'll get as much of the ephemera in today as we can, but I might have to come back and do another part. I was originally hoping to get all of the ephemera done in one video, but I mean, we might be able to. If I have to split the video, I have to split the video, but I'm going to try, even if it's a little bit on the long side. I think I would prefer to get everything done in one go. Okay, so that is my nice big pocket, which is going to have a notebook and a few other bits in. So that was the easy thing. I mean, it's all easy really, let's be honest. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this part done, because this again is everything I'm sure of, so just move that to one side. So this is my insert that we made on part 1. I've sewn around it. So I've already got a flip out here. I'm still not 100% what I'm putting here. I was thinking it would be really cool if you could flip that out and have a removable scrappy notepad. So that's probably what I'm thinking I'll do. And then on this side, I really like how this looks together. This is something I made in Tina's Mass Makes off screen. I don't think we're there yet with the video. But I want to get some tape on the back of it. Just on the back, because I'm going to use that as a tuck spot, I think. And it also folds out for a pocket. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So again, just using that same framers tape. It's just so that if I slide anything in, then the string won't get in the way, you see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down as a tuck spot. And so I'm only going to glue it on 2 sides. That's me being clumsy. Happens all the time. There we go. My hands just are not very strong really. I don't have very good grip sometimes, so I end up just dropping things. There we go. So I'm going to pop that down here. I'm coming in from the edge so you can see the stitching. I'm just going to open this up because I think this has got a little bit of a spine in it. So yeah, so this is I think it's a Tina's Mass Makes. So basically there's a pocket in the back here, and there's a pocket here, and of course I've glued the whole thing down as a tuck spot, because I'm thinking I can slip something nice and big in there. But yeah, some of these things I made off screen because I was just playing around with the ephemera at some point, years and years ago probably. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to flip that out and have a removable scrappy notepad in there. And then obviously we're going to have something big in the back there. So that's that. I appreciate I'm jumping around a little bit. It's just because I want to get on with the stuff that I'm definitely sure about. That's all. As I said, very much craft with me. Okay, so I have got a matchbook writing spot here, which we made in a shop your trash video. So I was thinking that looks kind of cool up there. And then I've got this. So this is a you know, in the backs of the Tim Holtz pads you get I think they're the 3x4 inches. I've cut 2 of them and just folded them over because I'm wanting to make a little pocket for something coming out of there. So let's do that. So yeah, all it is just the 2 pieces folded, and I'm just going to get a thumb notch in the front of it. That's close enough to being middle, isn't it? And then I just want to ink around the whole thing. I've done this with the Tim Holtz rectangles before. They're really good use of that because it can be difficult to know what to do with these little squares and rectangles at the back. Some of them make brilliant journal cards, and other times you can do this, because all that we need to do then is just glue along the bottom and along one side, keeping as close to the edge as I can because I don't want to take away from the size of the pocket, because it's already, you know, it's only going to be for a tag. But I was thinking we could have a nice tall tag to go, because there's only going to be these 2 things on here. So then the nice tall tag that we need to make, I haven't got anything, I don't think. We'll go there. Now I'm not going to round the corners simply because this is straight edged, so I think it will go better if I leave it. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to leave it open at the side here. Obviously I'm going to have this tall tag coming out of the pocket. Do I want it to be that you can slip? And I think I do, because I was thinking if you had, some papers coming out, that would be very sciencey, wouldn't it? So I'm going to glue this on 3 sides. Obviously the whole thing itself is the pocket inside for a tag, and then this will just allow me to slip some stuff into the side of it as well. So 2 for 2. And if I, for whatever reason, decide I don't want to use it like that, I can just run some glue along that edge and that will be that. But sometimes it's useful just to keep your options open if you're not 100%, because we don't really know these things until we start trying to fill our journals, do we really? And then as for this one, I think I'm best, I could leave it open as a pocket, but I think I'm best gluing it the whole way down, only because we've got that big tag there, I'm probably not going to put anything in here as a pocket. You can always put something inside it if there's room. And obviously if you're going to open this for writing, then it will just make it stronger on the page as well. So yeah, we made this from some packaging. It was, I can't even remember what it was just some kind of packaging. But it made the perfect little matchbook flip up writing spot thing. That's it. So yeah, I could always slip something into that little front bit where the brads are, maybe, if there's space. Okay, so that's that one. I think it works. Okay, so next, So we've done all of that. Obviously we've got the insert to go in later. So here is where I need to make some decisions. So I have this pocket, and actually I'm just going to bring the insert in. There we go. So I can see it all together then. So I've got this pocket, which can be a double pocket if I want, which I am liking. But I also thought to have a triangular pocket, which I slightly prefer because we have that embellishment at the top. But I don't think I want to use that colour. I want to use one of these, I think. I just can't decide. Or even this one. I'm torn between these papers, basically. Okay, decision made. I'm going with this pocket purely because I just think it goes better with what you can see, because this is we've got quite dark black. This is quite dark, so we're bringing out some of the darkness here. I just think it, even though I prefer the idea of a triangular pocket slightly, I really like the darkness of that, and I don't have any more of this paper left. So decision made. I'm going to turn this into a double pocket. So I'm just going to run some glue on 3 sides. Yeah, decisions sometimes. You know, we make these things and then you're looking at them thinking, ooh, I like all them all, I cannot decide. But sometimes you've just got to take a step back and just, you know, look at everything as a whole picture, which is why I brought this insert in. I do find that kind of thing helps me. So I'm just trying to line it up with the checkers behind, the checked paper behind. There we go. So that's got a pocket in the front, like so, and a pocket. The whole thing is now a pocket. That would be just something that I made with my scraps. Again, off screen. I have done a lot of ephemera off screen just because I was having a bit of a play, and some things I made easily 2 years ago, you know. Yeah, I'm happy with how that's looking. So now that I've used that there, I've now got another decision to make, which is what I'm going to have on the back of this envelope, which is why I wanted to wait until everything was in for me to decide. Here's what I'm torn between. I have got this piece that was inspired by Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors, which would be like so. It is quite a heavy piece, but essentially this opens up lots of different ways and has lots of different pockets in, and this whole thing here is a tuck spot. The part that throws me off is that it's shorter than my envelope, so I don't know what I would do around it. That's why I'm torn, and because it's heavy as well. This is only an envelope, like it's already pretty heavy with the Tim Holtz paper. So that's that one. Or I go with the triangular pocket that we didn't use before. Not necessarily that paper, but I'm using it for the shape. Another option is a long tuck that goes all the way down, which I like the look of. I think I'm going to save this for my woodlands because I really like that brown for woods. Another option, I think this is the paper I'm going to use. Another option is we could do a triangle at the bottom and a triangle at the top, which I'm quite liking as well, because I'm trying to find ways to bring some of the bulk up the top, especially as this is a gusseted pocket down here. So I'm going to run with the idea of using this paper first of all. So I want to cut a triangle. Not sure how big how big to do it. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this sort of size. And then I want another triangle out of this. So I want to just cut the bottom here. These won't be gusseted. It's just for an effect more than anything. So where's my, I'm actually going to use my pen so I can get them the same size-ish. So yeah, basically just cutting 2 triangles from my scraps, as I mentioned. I'm trying very hard to use as many scraps in this project as I can, because I've been holding on to this Tim Holtz paper, just checking they're same sort of size-ish, for a long time, and so I'm going to use every last bit of it if I can. Okay. So as I say, now that I know what's going on here, which is these pockets, I can decide on the paper. And I need to go off and stitch it. So those are going to go like so. So I'm going to hit pause again because I want to go off and sort this paper, choose one and get it sewn around. And essentially what that's going to be is whatever goes in here, either we can have different things in an up tuck and a bottom tuck spot, or we'll have something, a large journal card that slips into, you know, the top of it goes there, the bottom of it goes there kind of thing. Which I think will look different enough because, you know, I don't want every page to look the same. So I'll hit pause, I'll be right back. So I'm actually wondering whether to use the same paper that I've used here and here. Originally I was going to use something from the Tim Holtz, but because we've got something going in the pocket, you're only really going to see the outer part here, and then you could even write some secret notes when you remove the journal card maybe. So I think I'm going to lean towards that with these on, but I'm actually going to end the video here because obviously I need to go off and cut this down, sew it, etc, etc. But you know, I think we've made good progress today. There's still, you know, plenty more that needs to be done. So I'm going to fill up the pockets with the things that I definitely want to use. Some things that we might need to make, so I'll have a bit of a, you know, a stock of all of that. So I will do a part 3. I wasn't originally planning on doing part 3, but I don't want to overload you with too much in one video. And as I said, this is very much a craft with me, so I'm just sort of taking it a step at a time really. So I'll be back, I suppose next week, I'll be back with another video where we will get this back of the envelope sorted, we will get the insert done, we'll get the closure and the front and back covers done, and then from there we can just sort of decide what else needs to be done, you know, finishing touches, ephemera, etc. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's coming along. I'm enjoying this project very much. You know, it's quite simple in the sense of, you know, like for example, this was just a gusseted pocket, this is just a couple of triangles, this is a very simple pocket, that's a simple paper clip, you know, all these things are quite simply done. But it's looking really cool. So you know what they say about sometimes simple is best. In the case of this, I'm really enjoying it, and I really like the idea of the notebook coming out of there. That is very cool. That's my notebook, by the way. This was just 2 scraps joined together. I've just glued them together like that, sewn around it. That's just what that is. And then I'm just going to cover that with some crochet once the papers are in. So that is going to be my little notebook. But yeah, I'm really liking this pouch idea. So I'll definitely try this again, you know, in a different theme. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll stop my waffling. So thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for keeping me company. For those of you crafting along, I hope this gives you a good sort of next steps as to where you might want to go with yours. If you are crafting along, I'd love to know if you are. Do let me know. But as I say, I'll leave it there and we'll come back and do the next part next week. I'm sort of going with the idea that I'm doing this sort of once a week because it is just a small little project that you know, I'm just doing as and when. So I'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.